Hey, we're at Marna's house, and this is a room with a view, but here is the room where all the action happens. Look at this. This is where the Marna's magic is happening. And Marna is creating some magic because she's working on some host packet stuff over here.
I'm going to share all my tricks with you in just a few minutes. You want to hear all my tricks?
I do want to hear all your tricks.
Right.
While you're waiting to share with me your tricks, does everybody see that? Is that not flipping great? They're laughing at me. You guys are going to appreciate this. Look at all of her little flyers. Patty, can you spin those around? Look at that. Look at where all the paperwork is at.
Let's see.
Yes. And look at this. You talk about a well-stocked shelves ready to go and give away to customers. And then we're going to come over here. And we have, look at those. Come join us booklets. She needs them by the dozens because Marna.
She has 100 people joining her team.
This is the thing that I like right there. She believed she could, so she did. And she does. So, Patty, John, let's go back over here. Marna, what are you doing?
All right, well, let me show you. I'm going to show you how I create a show packet for my calendar. This is my November calendar.
Oh, my God.
So all of these parties have already had their packets sent out the first week of October. So my system is to send out packets in bulk. So everything for October got sent out in September. All of my November packets went out in October. So I'm going to be working on my December packets for my first 2 weeks in December. So the first thing that I do when I make a packet is I use a manila folder. It's super simple. I have steps to a great party. My whole thing is this. If you're going to go out and do a party anyway, why not make it the very best it can be? Plus, I want you to just assume that every host does not know how to have a good party. I think we kind of take for granted that these people know what to do. And especially when they've done parties with other direct sales. If you've ever done a party with another direct sales company, you'll know what I mean. They give their hosts very little direction. And I think that they just kind of flounder around. I want my host to be really confident that this party is going to go well without a hitch. So the first thing she'll see is steps to a great party. And I actually put the date and the time of the party, and then I count back 3 days before the party, what she should do, 1 week before the party, 2 weeks before the party, and now what she should do. And so many of my hosts comment to me, this is really what helped them have a good party. It kept them on track.
Wow.
Inside, they'll find a letter, Hello December Host, and I have specifically the host bonus printed out here, and I also have what the guest special is. So I don't have to print out all of those flyers like many of us do, those PDFs that have all of the specials. I'll also do a few things to my show planner. We just use a couple of stickers. One of them in here says, for the best results, use mail, email, text, phone, in person, and Facebook to invite everyone you can think of. And then on the back, I'm asking her to shoot for a $1,000 party. One of the gifts that I give my $1,000 hosts is when they reach 1,000, they can choose unlimited discount of 50% off. The company is going to give them 30, and I'm going to kick in the other 20. This helps me get a lot of $1,000 parties, especially when they're at 700 or 800. They've got nothing to lose by going up to 1,000.
Wonderful.
All right. Another trick that I use, there's a lot of methods for inviting. I choose to not send out the invitations for my host. I let her do that job. You can certainly send out invites, but if you choose to let them do them, then what I'd have you consider doing is sending her a postcard like this. And what it basically is telling her is asking her to send this invitation or this postcard to me when she sends out her invitation. So it says, please send me this when you send out your invitations. Just jot down how many invitations you sent. If I receive it by November 23rd, you'll get an extra 5% off your order, or you could give them a little gift. And then she writes her number sent down here. It is like Christmas every day when I get all these postcards in, like this one, that tell me that she sent out her invitations, and she tells me how many, 28. So why do I want to know how many invitations she sent out? Well, first of all, when I get those back, you know, the biggest reason that people cancel their shows is that they didn't do what they were supposed to do.
Right.
So when I get these postcards back, I know that the biggest job is done. And I know how many she sent out. And this is really critical to know how many, because when you call your host 2 days before the party to ask her about guest count, I just would suggest, instead of just saying, hey, how many guests do you have coming, Marie? You ask her 3 questions. You ask Marie, how many yeses have you heard so far? And how many no's? And between those 2 numbers, if it doesn't add up to 28, then I know she's got a good chunk of people that she hasn't heard from. So I'm going to stop and right there and say, hey, Marie, it sounds like you've heard from about 15 of your 28 guests that you invited. So what I'm going to ask you to do is tonight to just make some connections with those 13, because I really need to know from a food standpoint how many you've got coming. And most of my hosts will go right along with that. They make some more calls, and the next day when I talk to them, usually the guest count has increased by about 50%. It's a great way to be in charge of your party. You know, get in the driver's seat when you're going to do a party. Get your host on board with you, and it's you want to be a team, and you're doing your part, and she's going to do her part. So that's a little bit about a host packet. A few things that I do a little differently, maybe I'll do that. For catalog hosts, they have another custom letter that just says tips for a great catalog party, and then I also have a letter for them, and I tell them what day I'm going to wrap the party up by. I fill in a date. And then another thing I always do is give my catalog host a self-addressed stamped envelope, because that's always one. I mean, these people sometimes cannot find a stamp in an envelope to wrap the party up, so I give it all to her right then and there. So the whole theory is to make your host job as simple as it can be, and really, really help her to see how to have a good party. And you will have a good party, I promise you. So that's
Very good. Thank you.